Hello, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency, devoted to promoting musicians and authors worldwide. Call us today at 941-877-1552 to start your free publicity evaluation. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Please welcome the host of Interviewing the Legends, music journalist, author, and entrepreneur, Ray Shasho.
Hello once again, everyone. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. Welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends on BBS Radio, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call us today, 941-877-1552, or email us at publicityworksagency.com. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. The voice on one of the most instantly recognizable and celebrated rock anthems of all time is back with his first ever solo album. With the arrival of former Survivor singer Dave Bickler's Darklight, released on March 15th, 2019 via Deko Music, the 10-track album recalls the singer's classic rock roots with a modern sound and features contributions by the likes of Ryan Hoyle from Collective Soul on drums, Brad Smith from Blind Melon on bass, Grammy-nominated producer Steve DeAcutis from Vanilla Fudge, Corey Glover, Vinnie Moore, Overkill, etc., and Grammy Award-winning mastering engineer Alan Douches from Fleetwood Mac, yes, Mastodon, Monster Magnet, and the list goes on. The album's lead-off single is the track Hope, which was released digitally on March 8th. Starting his musical career as lead singer of the 1970s rock group Jamestown Massacre, best known for the Billboard Top 100 song Summer Sun, and doing commercial jingles work in Chicago. Dave was the lead singer of Survivor from 1978 through 84 and 93 through 99, and co-lead singer from 2013 through 2014. And his crowning career achievement was singing on the track Eye of the Tiger, the theme song from the hit film Rocky III, which topped the Billboard's chart for 6 weeks and won a Grammy Award for Best Rock Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal. From 1999 through 2009, Dave served as the singing voice behind the most award-winning radio campaign in advertising history, Real Men of Genius, for Bud Light Beer. Darklight is issued on both CD and vinyl, with the vinyl version being available in both standard, black, and limited gray swirl editions. Dave will be launching a European solo tour in March with further Euro-US dates and festival shows throughout the year. Please welcome singer, songwriter, musician Dave Bickler to the Interviewing the Legends show. Hello, Dave.
Hello, everybody.
Man, I tell you one thing, that Eye of the Tiger is like the song that you always get in your head, but it pumps you up, you know?
I think that was the point in the first place. You know, that obviously, you know, to open up the Rocky III film, it really worked. And it was the best promotional vehicle, I think, of all time. Because it was right in the front of the movie, you know, before you watched anything else. You saw that fight scene with Eye of the Tiger, you know, so it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, what happened there, I guess Stallone loved the band, and he asked you guys to write a song for the movie, right?
He did. Yeah, he listened to our second record, Premonition,
right?
Which I thought that was a good record. He liked it a lot. He said, "Do you think these guys could, write me a song to go with that?" And the guys who were doing songwriting in Survivor then, Frank Sullivan and Jim Peterick, they got together and they saw some of the films, so they picked up some stuff from that to use. And we went into the studio to cut it. I'd never heard the song. When I got to the studio, we never had it. It was being, it was deadlines and stuff, and production deadlines. So we had to, if we were going to be part of it, we had to get it done quick. So So we went into the studio in Chicago and cut that song. He sang it to me for the first time, and we recorded the track, and I recorded the vocal, and that track, that demo track that we did that day, that's in the movie. They used that one for the movie because we weren't quite ready with the other track that we re-recorded out in California.
So the movie was completely done when you did the music?
It wasn't. It was not completely done. It was not fully edited yet. It was in that editing stage.
Now, I'm assuming, did you go to the premiere and all that?
I did not.
You did not?
It was all an unknown thing at that time. So it's like I don't know if we were invited or not.
Oh, you got to be kidding me! To me, the song made the whole movie.
Well, thank you for that. I thought it was a pretty cool movie, but obviously that opening scene, did us a lot of good, and it was the right thing at the right time. It was the right thing for that movie. It was a very simple message, as you said. It's about getting motivated, So, and it can't be killed now because even like some of my neighbors and stuff, they have younger kids, and that their 5-year-old, that's their favorite song.
That's awesome.
Here it is all this time later.
That is awesome. Yeah, I like that. Because it brings back the younger guy, the younger kids. And then after that they'll revisit some older music. And which they should be doing anyway.
It would be good if everybody can appreciate a lot of the music that was made in the music revolution that started in the 60s, which that's what I got swept up in, and how I ended up wanting to be in bands and all that, be a musician because of the Beatles.
Yeah, I think everybody started with the Beatles.
Everybody at that time, it comes from that time, for sure. And a lot of people said the same thing. That I saw it on Ed Sullivan. It was like that was it.
Yeah, I did too. I remember them coming out, and I think it was '64, right? On Ed Sullivan show.
Yeah, '64. Yeah, on the Ed Sullivan show. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm originally.
And they were just cool. I mean, they were cool.
I know, and it's funny how they said they had long hair back then, right?
Yeah. My dad said, "What's with the hair?" And now it's like, how funny, That's a shortcut hair there that you can go to the office.
The amazing thing is people still get excited when they see Ringo and Paul. You know what I mean? It's almost like, it's still there. The thrill is still there after all these years,
Well, yeah, it is, and understandably so. It's like they really did change the whole thing. They changed music overnight.
Well, I want to first talk about Darklight because it's a great album. I really, really enjoyed the album.
I'm so pleased. I'm so glad you say that. Really.
Well, I gave it 5 stars. You got some great musicians on there, like you said. You gave it some of the kind of 80s, actually 90s rockers. From Blind Melon, which was a favorite band of mine, and Collective Soul, and
me too.
Yeah, which is cool. I like how you mix those musicians in the band. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I love the 90s sort of revolution, if you will.
Right.
That was like a breath of fresh air when for rock music, because so many great bands came out of Seattle, and I really, I thought it was terrific. Get back to more the roots of rock and roll as opposed to the pretentiousness of it that had crept into
right.
music.
Yeah. Well, that was a good period because I think it was the last wave of good rock music. After that, we went more into the I don't know, like the rap stuff and
well, it's so vast now, such a vast landscape of different kinds of music. But that was like a big upheaval of rock coming back.
Right.
That was really terrific. A lot of great music made during that period. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish it would come back again. It kind of did with your album, but we need more people, more artists to do this.
No, I'm going to keep doing it for sure. And we have Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them, to be honest with you.
I like those kids. I'm sorry.
I'm a purist, I look at them as a cover band. Anybody can sound like Zeppelin, or you know what I mean.
Well, I don't know if anybody can.
Well, I've heard a lot of bands sound like them, over the years, but. I don't know. I'm just not, I'll say that on the record. I'm not a big fan of Red
I'll give those guys some time, though, because what are they, 17 or something?
Yeah.
They're babies.
Yeah, I know. But I like guys that have original sounds and, totally different, That's what I'm waiting for, somebody totally different.
Yeah, I always, for myself, I always try to find something, to be different, about a song, something,
Well, your album is very different, and I'm going to go over a few tracks with you.
Yeah, sure.
I think my favorite song is Hope, and I think, didn't you write that after 911?
I did. I lived in New York City at that time. I was doing midtown on the west side, and it was just a crazy. I just couldn't. It was really a terrible day, of course, for everybody, and I could see the smoke going up in the air. And in fact, I was living there with my wife and we weren't married, but my son, 1-year-old son,
right.
And the wind changed. It had been blowing out over the south, and it changed to coming out of the south, heading north towards us. And when it did, it was just unbelievable. We had to leave. We had to get him packed up and go to her mom and dad's because it was just so terrible. And that was my answer to that. Of something to try to, something an alternative to what that was. Is Hope.
Yeah, it's an incredible track. Dream of a better day. That's a great line.
Yeah, that was the first song we worked on with Steve DeAcutis, who is the producer, and he played all the guitar parts, and just was a wonderful guy to work with to finish the album and get it mixed and all of that stuff. We recorded everything at his studio, and that's the first song we tackled. It sort of set the whole kind of tone for the record, I think.
Yeah, it really stands out,
Yeah, I'm really happy with the way it turned out, the record.
Did you guys did you say everybody recorded in the studio together? No, okay. It doesn't happen much anymore.
Yeah, I had made demos of those songs, right? And then I would fly out to California to Ryan Hoyle's drum studio out there in L.A.
Right.
And he has all this gorgeous, luscious collection of drums, and every kind of old or modern type of drum you could possibly want or snare. And I hung out with him and learned a lot about how drums are care and feeding of drum sets,
right?
Which was, I'm so geeky that I love all of that stuff. I even like getting a kick drum sound. I find that to be fun. So, it was just a great experience doing that. So I had my great drum tracks, and then Brad Smith played his bass parts, and he's also hanging around helping me out with the production and stuff. He was always, he's just a really generous person, helping out as we were making those recordings. And then I brought him back here, and the Stevie's in New Jersey. It took me a while to find him, but I found the perfect guy to help me to finish the record.
You can tell the production quality is excellent, and the engineering.
I heard his demos that he did. Oh my God, that's what I want. I want that.
Exactly. It's amazing. It's a great sound.
It is a great sound. I thank you. I was really, really happy with that.
I think you said that was the most fun you ever had recording, right?
It was the most fun I ever had recording. It really was the most fun I've ever had.
Fear of the Dark was another. It had an interesting intro, and then awesome vocals, and then it rocks out at the end. That's another favorite.
Yeah, that's the album cut. I call that. And it's funny though. A lot of people really like that track. But it's kind of not. It wouldn't seem like some kind of single, to me. But it was it was a dream. That song. I woke up after I watched a movie called Wanted.
Right.
You know that movie?
Yeah, I did.
It helped the Danny Elfman score,
Yeah.
And I woke up and I thought, I must have stolen, it must be one of his songs. But it wasn't. It was something different. But I ran downstairs and, put it down real quick just so I remember it. And that's Fear of the Dark.
Now, I was a top 40 DJ back in the late 70s, so I know what's a hit and what should be on the radio. Now, if this was, a great time for radio again, there's 2 songs on this album I would have put on top 40 radio. Magic, to me, sounds like a well-established top 40 hit.
Yeah, I thought, me too. I agree. It's just me too. But by accident. I mean, it just, I actually borrowed somebody's guitar, and I think it was Jim Peter. I think he lent me a Stratocaster, and I was playing around with, and that's where I came up with the lick. Came out just having just a different guitar to play.
Right. And another awesome melody is Always You, which to me is another, radio hit.
Yeah, I when I went over and did shows in the UK there with just recently, I played Always You live, and it was well received. It's always a scary thing a little bit to play a song no one's ever heard before, basically, and to see how people react to it. But they liked it. So.
And another favorite Time, heavy intro, great guitar work on Time.
Great guitar work by Stevie.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And the clock, that ding.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a real clock.
Is that a real clock?
It's a clock that Stevie's had in his family. It's real old. And the chimes, so he mic'd that up. So it wasn't a sample. It was and it just happened to turn out that the chimes actually were in tune with the track.
That's weird.
Which I find astonishing.
Yeah, that's really awesome. The Sky is Falling. Talk about that track.
Yeah, that's that's my I'm concerned about climate change, and that's my sort of song to get that out of my system a little bit. That's where that came from.
It's the great tune. Great tune.
Yeah, thanks. I think it sounds really, really cool.
Well, I love the album, and everyone can go to www.bickler.com or Amazon.com, and the album's out.
It's there.
Officially out. Now, are you guys gonna are you gonna be touring soon to promote it?
It's just coming out. I'm doing some shows, around the world, kind of.
Right.
But we're gonna, that's the next thing is to work on that, get a band together to play in the U.S. and I've been talking to booking agents and stuff. So we're working on that one. So let the album, hopefully get some attention and build a bit, and then we'll see where it goes.
Do you think you'll get the same musicians that were on the album to tour?
I don't know. I kind of doubt that I'll be able to get them just because they're, both Ryan and Brad are studio owners who, have a lot of stuff going on. So I would love it. Yeah. And I'm sure we'll do a show. We'll do something. We'll do a show or a showcase or a TV show or something. We'll do that together.
That'll be so cool, to promote that. That this guy came from this band, this guy came from that band. It's an all-star band. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome. Now, you play a few different instruments, don't you? What are the instruments that you play?
Well, I'm kind of a jack of all trades master. I play a little bit. I play enough guitar to get by to demo my songs, and I play enough keyboards to demo my songs, and I also play saxophone, and
really,
and I got a flute laying around here someplace.
Wow.
I played saxophone in Survivor when the band first started playing out. I was kind of a multi-instrumentalist for the band, playing some keyboard stuff and other those instruments, and that kind of gradually went away. So I just ended up in front.
That's incredible that you play some of the instruments like that. That's some talent, man.
I just felt I felt the need to be somebody had to play, that for some, like we were back in, one of my early bands, we were doing Chicago songs, so who's going to play trumpet? But I knew how to play trumpet because that was my school band instrument. So, and then the other stuff just kind of followed along.
A lot of guys now are in the studio and they're playing all the instruments on the album. That's pretty cool. You can probably do that.
I could, but I some of that stuff, some guitar stuff will end up, being used that I do, but I can't bring that wicked, ripping solo stuff to do. So I need an expert for that. And of course, I can't play drums. I can play the drums,
right?
But not like Ryan Hoyle.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody can kind of pick up the drums, but I think you got to have that instinct, to be a great drummer.
Yeah, you got to put your 10,000 hours in too.
Right, that's true. That's true. You started out in a band called Jamestown Massacre, and you did have Summer Sun, which was a great hit. It was a great song.
It's amazing that was the first. That was my first record that I heard on the radio. So
that's funny.
I'll cherish that always. It was, it was kind of a crazy thing how all that happened, but eventually, I moved on from Jamestown Massacre. It sort of broke up, but I was just a kid.
They're very Chicago sounding, huh? The Summer Sun?
Yeah, Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, good band though. Good band. It's a shame,
Well, we were too young.
Too young. That wasn't that song like number one in like Japan or something?
In Hawaii, I think. Yeah,
really?
That figures.
In Hawaii, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So you weren't invited to the premiere. Did you meet?
No.
Did you get to meet Stallone?
I did. I got to meet Stallone. He came out. We went out to Santa Monica we were going to start working on the record, and he wanted to look at the song against the movie and meet us, and so we went to the studio and we sat down with him. And he was really cool and really smart and really funny, just like you'd expect.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems pretty cool. He's kind of short, right? He's not as tall as you might think.
He's not real tall.
Yeah.
But he's impressive and imposing anyway.
Right. He's a big guy. I mean, he's built well.
Yeah, right. You don't look at him and go, oh, he's really short. Wow. Wow.
That would be the makings of a new Rocky movie.
Well, I'm sure there'll be one coming along, no doubt.
Well, Eye of the Tiger, it peaked at number one. It remained in that number one spot for 6 weeks. It was top 40 for 18 weeks. It went on to win the Grammy Award, Best Rock Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals, was voted Best New Song by People's Choice Awards, and it received an Academy Award nomination on top of all that. That's quite an accomplishment from one song.
It's kind of amazing, yeah. That is kind of amazing. Really crazy, huh?
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it was a wild time because, things have changed overnight for the band, right? They just, that was our third album. The other two, I thought were good records, but, you didn't catch on, so they don't catch on. But, suddenly we were, in a whole other ballgame.
You had some other great songs, too, with you as vocals. I guess there was two sides to Survivor.
Yeah. My successor was Jimmy Jameson, who I got to be really good friends with. And in fact, we went out for a couple of years to singing together. That was really fun to do that with Jimmy.
That is cool.
We had a blast, doing the gig, the both of us.
That's a shame. He passed away so kind of young, and quickly.
He did. It was really terrible. I was shocked, but not surprised because, he was smoking like 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and,
wow.
You just can't do that, But he's way too young. Yeah, he's only 63 years old.
Wow. I don't know how you can sing and smoke at the same time. DJs used to smoke a lot.
I used to smoke. In fact, back in Eye of the Tiger, I smoked cigarettes. I was smoking a pack a day of cigarettes.
Really?
But during the tour, that was the time I was just starting to decide, I think I better quit smoking.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning and you cough, and God, it's awful. And it'll kill you.
It will kill you. It killed so many famous actors back in the 50s and early 60s,
It did. Everybody smoked. It was so popular in every movie. Everybody smoking like fiends,
That's
like
crazy. That's crazy. I'm not a big, I never really smoked. I smoked cigars at one time because I'm half Cuban. It's in the blood. It's in the blood.
Well, having a cigar once in a while is not gonna. That's okay, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not against marijuana. As a matter of fact, I invested in marijuana stocks.
Good, man. It should be legal, period, and I totally agree with you.
I think eventually it will be,
it will be. No, it will be. It's going to be here in New York pretty soon.
Well, it helps so many people,
It does. It's a medicine.
It is a medicine. It's natural. That should have came out before liquor, because liquor can really destroy you.
Well, the reason that marijuana got demonized in that, reefer madness and all that was the alcohol, companies who did that on purpose, because they were worried about, they knew prohibition would get overturned.
Right.
They were worried about that they would supplant them, and so they demonized it and made it a class 1, narcotic or whatever. That's all they're doing.
Well, Florida we finally approved the medical marijuana, and we're finally in. Florida's tough. We're tough on a lot of things. It takes a while before things get approved here.
It takes a while for people to come to their senses.
Yeah, exactly. But we're finally getting it done. I have never yet been to a store, a pot store, which my kids go to Colorado all the time. I think it's my turn.
Yeah, right. Me too.
That's got to be pretty cool,
Yeah.
Well, you guys had some other hits. American Heartbeat was a great song.
Yeah, I believe that was the second single that was released officially.
Right.
American Heartbeat. Yeah.
The One Who Really Matters. Yeah, One Who Really Matters was another favorite. That was a great song too. Good tune.
Yeah, that was a good track.
Yeah. The official video, Children of the Night, is also a favorite. And
as a matter of fact, when I was this last tour that I did, I put that in the set because that hadn't been performed since that time.
Really?
I never played it live after that record. Just before we only played it live actually before Eye of the Tiger was released, and then we never played it again. So I thought it was time.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you did "I Can't Hold Back," which is another great track.
I think so too. It's one of my favorites that Jimmy did, and he did a lot of things that he did. He could sing the phone book, So, but that was a fantastic record. Really was.
I'm a fan of Jim Peturik. He's got quite a history. And
he's written a lot of great songs.
Yeah, he was with the Ides of March.
He was.
Yeah, which that's another song that sticks in your head for forever. And you did a lot of stuff with him, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I mean, we did jingles together in Chicago. That's how I got to know Jim. That's how I got to be, in Survivor in the first place, is because he had been doing a solo career, a solo band thing. Mm-hmm. He made an album. I sang on his album, on one song. So on the back of it, you can't even hear it. You can barely hear me there. He mixed me down really low, but I did that. And then, after that, the album didn't, it didn't catch on, and he decided that he wanted to form a band, have a band, a real band.
Yeah, I saw you guys together performing on YouTube, not that long ago, I think.
Not that long. No, I went up to Chicago. I grew up in Naperville, which is a Chicago suburb. Yep. And all my family, I got family there, brother and sister, and all their families, and all that stuff. It's a lot of friends. So it was fun to me to go out there at North Central College, and we did a show and played "Light of a Thousand Smiles," which again, that's another one that hasn't been heard live.
Huh.
I don't think since 1981 or something like that.
It was Jim Peturik's World Stage 2018. That's what I saw you, I think, on YouTube.
Yeah.
You did Eye of the Tiger together and a bunch of other songs. It's Naperville or Naperville?
Naperville.
That's always been voted like one of the top places to live in the United States. You know that?
It's crazy. When I moved there was 30,000 people there, and I think there's 230,000 people in Naperville now.
You got a lot of press.
It's suburbia, all right, but it's a nice place to live.
Yeah, every year it's like on the top 5, I think. Places to live.
Yeah, I know. It's a bunch of kids and dogs and families.
Yeah, that's not
trees
cool.
And
Pleasantville.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of,
So are you completely done with Survivor? You said you've had enough, right?
I've had enough. Yeah, I've had enough. The only reason I went back to do Survivor again was because it was the opportunity to sing with Jimmy. Frankie got in touch with me and said, "Hey, keep an open mind, think of this," and I couldn't resist. I'd actually discussed it with Jimmy a couple of times. He said, "We should, do a gig together, man. We should do that." So I couldn't resist, and it was really fun.
Yeah, you've been like in and out, and there's been a lot of changes in the bands over the years, huh?
Yeah. That's all I can say.
A couple lawsuits here and there.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Well, that's normal. Today, that's a norm.
I guess so. It's a first for me.
Yeah. I just had Don Brewer on the show, and that, him and Mark have been feuding for such a long time with lawsuits and things like that. It's such a shame because Grand Funk Railroad, they could get together and they, it'd be a big hit again, if they wanted to, but,
That's the problem with all that.
Yeah.
There's nothing like success to ruin everything.
I know. It happens in every band, And
it does.
And then you got sick with your vocal cords. And I guess they didn't want you in the band anymore because they were probably wanted to move on. That reminds me of what happened to John Anderson and Yes. He got sick and then they booted him out.
Yeah, it's like for me it was my voice, it had been so damaging, the relationship with the band at that point too. I was burned out completely. I mean, I had no desire to play music at that moment when I left, that Survivor. I was just like, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I regained my desire to play again.
So after your voice went, how long did it take you to get it back in shape?
It took a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a while. I mean, I could still sing, but not like I could before.
Right.
And I started paying attention to myself. I started paying attention. I'd never been to a doctor before. I never warmed up my voice. I never did any of that stuff. And I learned to do those things.
So what kind of things do you do now to take care of your voice?
Yeah, just get enough sleep. That's a good one there.
Right.
Don't eat. Try to eat the kind of good food. Just the basic stuff. And there's a number of exercises too to do. I do them every day. On my doctor's orders. Here's what you do this 3 to 5 times a day. It's a series of drills and all this typical stuff. But I mean, it keeps you in shape.
Is there anything you can drink? I mean, hot tea or anything like that?
Well, yeah, stuff that's gonna, come back up. You should.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do have. I had some medication for acid reflux. I didn't know I had it because I never felt that, but apparently I did. And so I have to. I take something for an antacid thing to keep that from happening.
Yeah, I've got that really bad. I take omeprazole. Over-the-counter stuff.
Yeah, omeprazole, that stuff. Right?
Yeah, I take that once a day, and if I don't, I get real bad heartburn.
So do I.
Yeah, it's horrible. It really is. Well, all the guys in the United States want to thank you so much for the Bud Light Real Men of Genius radio ads.
You're welcome.
They are awesome, man. Is that you singing in those ads?
Yes, it is.
It is you, yeah. I figured that.
There you go.
They are awesome. They had to be fun to make,
Yeah, it was all the funny guys from the agency that came in. And we'd have a script, but that script almost never survived intact. They would change it, and we just try stuff. And that I did a lot of commercials. That doesn't usually happen. If there's a script that comes down from the agency, that's like God came down from God. They just ripped that up and just did stuff. Came up with some different lines, and we tried them. Anything.
Unbelievable. Supermarket deli meat slicer, Mr. Athletic groin protector inventor.
Yeah. Nothing was off limits for that.
Nothing. Absolutely. Yeah, but these guys.
Mr. Edible Underwear Maker.
Yeah. Mr. Cell Phone Holster Wearer.
Yep. Mr. Silent Gas Passer.
Yeah, well, these guys, they're never recognized for anything. They finally get their due, right?
Yeah, well, the creative guys at the agency, it's always the executives that get the big page.
And you made the Super Bowl commercials in, I think, 2006 or something like that, right?
It was around it. We weren't actually in the Super Bowl ad thing, but we were around it. Yeah.
Do you have any idea how many ads you guys made? I mean, how many?
I think we made 225.
Wow!
But 120 of them never got played.
Really?
They were too far over the edge. They didn't use them, or they were on for a day and then they got protests and they had to take them off.
Really? Huh. You can go on YouTube and they have all the spots are on there on one YouTube video.
Yeah, I've got them. I have all of them too. I have a copy of all of those.
That's awesome. That's that's something that's going to stick in everybody's minds. Besides Eye of the Tiger, is that's your next best thing? I think. It
was crazy, man. It became an iconic thing.
It did, and it's still so popular today. You'll have to maybe they can revisit it again.
I wish they'd bring them back.
They probably will. I think they will.
Well, I hope so. Are you listening, InBev?
Let's see. I was going to say something about, was it Premonition?
Yes.
Yep. And you had a top 40 single, Poor Man's Son, that really kind of showed your range as a vocalist. And you had Summer Nights, Heart's a Lonely Hunter, Take You On a Saturday, Runaway Lights, and Love Is On My Side. This album came out, I think, in 81 or something like that.
It did, yeah. It was 81.
Was that it says here that it was one of the band's, one of their favorite albums. Was that true?
Yeah, I really liked that album. I thought that was, it just went from top to bottom, kind of came out all, it made sense, the rhythm section changed. The original guys had left the band. Dennis Johnson, Gary Smith had left the band, and so we were replaced with Mark Jubé and Stephen Ellis. And that was, so that kind of galvanized things. You know how it will. It's going to change things, but it was a good thing. We had a great time in the studio working on that record, and I thought it turned out really good.
Great album. That's another one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, one of mine too.
What's I got to ask you about groupies. I just talked to Carmine Appice, and man, he's got a book out called Stick It, and he talks about how many girls he slept with, which was incredible. I'm not going to ask you that, but what were the groupies like in Survivor?
Obviously there were girls around and stuff, but some of these the stories that I hear from some of these other bands, that never happened. not like that. I mean, that debauchery just didn't occur. Survivor. So yeah, there were girls, but not like Motley Crue, for Christ's sake. And or Def Leppard, an endless train of women under the stage just waiting for those guys.
Incredible, right?
It didn't happen.
I talked to Engelbert Humperdinck, and he said he had women that dressed up like like waiters, that ordered room service, and they would dress up in the costume so they can get to them, things like that. I mean,
that never happened either.
A lot of imagination there.
The wrong kind of music, I guess. And be a crooner, and then you get the...
Yeah. Well, you would think so,
I hate to say this, my friend. I'm supposed to be doing another interview at 2.
Oh, at 2 o'clock. Wow. You have time for one last question?
I do.
Okay. All right. Here's something.
I'm sorry to say that I'm having a lot of fun talking with you, man, but I don't want to,
Not a problem. That's fine. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, man.
Here's a question I ask everybody. I get a very interesting answer. If you had a Field of Dreams wish like the movie, to perform or collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Oh, gee. Oh, I guess, I'd have to say Paul McCartney would be nice.
Yeah. That's a popular answer.
I'm not surprised, but I stand by it.
Yeah. Have you met him?
And I would. No, I have not. And I keep waiting because I live in New York, and I know he's often here. And he gets on the bus now and then, and I'm expecting to turn to him and go, "Oh, look, there he is, Sir Paul."
Yeah. Well, we'll just get Chip to contact him and arrange it.
I'll try.
Dave, thank you so much for being on the show today, for all the great music. Good luck with the new album. We hope you tour very soon, and we hope you include Florida.
Thanks, man. Really great talking to you. Anytime, I'd love to talk to you again. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Thank you.
We'd love to have you back in the show again, hopefully when you start your tour and everything.
Okay, great.
All right, Dave.
Thanks, Ray.
Take care, man.
All right, you too, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Purchase the latest release by Dave Bickler entitled Darklight at Amazon.com. 5 stars, everybody. Great album. For more information about Dave Bickler, visit www.davebickler.com. He's also on Facebook, www.facebook.com/dave.bickler.9. Very special thanks to Chipster PR and Consulting for arranging this wonderful interview with Dave Bickler, and of course the dynamic duo of Doug and Don Newsom of BBS Radio for making the magic happen for each and every broadcast of Interviewing the Legends. If you have comments or suggestions for the show, contact me at interviewingthelegends@gmail.com, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Interviewing the Legends with Ray Shasho, for the very latest interviews. Hey, it's real news, people. Don't forget to purchase a copy of my book entitled Check the G's, The True Story of an Eclectic American Family and Their Wacky Family Business, available now at Amazon.com. And I promise you will live it. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Interviewing the Legends. Brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call 941-877-1552 or visit us at publicityworksagency.com, specializing in author and music artist publicity plans. We shine when we make you shine. Tune in to Interviewing the Legends every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on BBS Radio, Station 1.